Hello and welcome to part 5. We're still looking at key insights for sustainable value creation. And in this session, we're going to look at the story of Nokia. I'm sure a lot of us had this phone back in the day. Actually, I never had one. I think I had a Sagem. But a lot of us had this phone, and I remember that we loved this phone so much. It was so strong and so durable. So why was Nokia successful? Let's look at the rise and the fall of Nokia. In 1998, Nokia was the best-selling smartphone in the world. And in 1999, it had an operating profit of $4 billion. By 2003, Nokia 1100 best-selling mobile phone of all time. And I think there was a time that they actually did a remake of the phone at one point. And then in 2007, Nokia holds 50% of the entire world market. Wow, that's huge. By 2010, the Nokia launched an iPhone killer, but could not match the market. So they tried to kill the iPhone, but nah, they couldn't do it. So why did Nokia fail? Once again, we see a failure to innovate. They relied on past achievement. They did not innovate to beat or match iPhone technology. We will agree that the technology behind the iPhone is how do I put it? It's revolutionary. That's the word I would use. And Nokia just couldn't meet up. They failed to adapt to change. So they continued producing Symbian operating systems and could not adapt to a fast-paced change. And that's what the consumers needed. They also had a very poor market positioning. So they couldn't retain top end of the markets and they failed to see opportunities at the lower end. They lost to Huawei and HTC and other brands like that. The brand perception, that's another thing that did not work in their favor. The market perceived Nokia as a strong brand but old school. The company was unable to change that perception. So if you look at how Apple phone, the revolutionary Apple phones, the design, the feel, and then the capabilities, they look new generation. But Nokia was not able to come up with a product that could meet that. And finally, there were internal politics and organizational fear. So there were internal bureaucracies and organizational fear hampering the overall progress. So while you're trying to produce a product and meet consumer needs, internal inefficiencies are also working against the progress of the organization. More on why Nokia, failed. They focused on the short-term growth rather than having a long-term business strategy and a long-term horizon. They maintained the current supply chain instead of building future growth capacities. They also had a lack of an effective strategic plan. Like I said, no long-term plan. Unlike Samsung and Apple, Nokia lacked a good strategy to retain their market share. So you have to have a long-term plan. You have to have a long-term plan, which you will now break down into short-term plans. And these things should be fluid. Fluid in the sense that you can change, you can flex them as you see what technology and competition is doing. Lack of long-term vision. Due to changing management and structure, the company lacked a strong vision and direction for the future. And they overestimated their brand strength. Oh, we are great, we're big. Management believed people loved Nokia and would continue to buy. That is never true for any brand, any product, or any organization. You have to continuously innovate. The wrong partnership. Was Microsoft really the right partner for Nokia? This is a question. So that brings us to, the end of our discussion on Nokia. In our next video, we are going to look at the story of Samsung. What made Samsung rise and succeed? Join me in the next video.